What's up, guys? Welcome back to another disc video. We're here with Mario. He just came back from regional at Niagara Falls. What's up, Mario?
Hey.
All right, man. Tell us how you did and what did you do at the regional?
So I got top 4 this weekend at the Niagara Falls Regional. I ended up playing Fluent Dries. The reason why is because I'm the most comfortable with this deck, and it's actually pretty good, this format, if you know how to play the deck very well and you don't really misplay. Because the problem with this deck is that if you make one misplay, you can get punished really hard. But if you know how to play the deck really well, it's almost like unstoppable because it has like one of the best engines in the game, I would say. That being said, I'm going to get started. So we're going to start with the obvious cards. There's 3 Rubina, there's 3 Eaglin, there's 1 Toucan, and then I decided to play 3 Stree. The reason why is because over the course of the years of playing the deck, I realized that it does brick a lot, and most of the time when you lose versus anybody, it's not because they made a board that's unbreakable, it's because you literally just bricked. So we upped the count on the street, which is actually very good also this format, especially versus like Fire King specifically, because this can hit the Garunix, which then will help stop the Kirin, which is like really good versus Flu. And at the same time, if you open like Eaglin, Stree, and like a card you can send to the graveyard, it's still full combo at least. So if this was like a Toucan, it wouldn't be full combo. So by doing it this way is just an extra layer of consistency. Then after that, we're gonna play 2 Empen. I see some people playing 3. You only need 2. It's very unnecessary. And we have 1 Ryza and 1 Avion. So that is all it for the monsters, other than the hand traps, which I only played 3 of, which is Shifter. You don't really need anything else in this deck. First of all, you don't have enough room, and second of all, like playing like Ash Blossom in this format, especially with the amount of Snake Eyes and Fire King there is just not good. And Flu really needs all of their cards. The only reason why, like everyone knows, is we play Shifter is because it's usually the auto win card. So yeah, now we're gonna go to the spells. We're gonna play 3 Map, 1 Terraforming. We're gonna play 3 Adventure. It's been really good this weekend because there's so many Veilers and Imperms everywhere. But to complement that, I also decided to play 3 Swallow. So both of these came in very well this weekend. I would say probably Swallow was actually MVP, because a few times what happened was people would allow me to set up Empen, and then when I would declare Empen effect, they would chain their Veiler or their Imperm, and I would just chain the Swallow. That way I can add another Empen, and then I would be able to search Unexplored Winds, summon another bird, activate Unexplored Winds, summon my second Empen, which I searched off the Swallow, which will then allow me to search my Dreaming Town. So by having the Swallow in here, it allowed me to basically get both Unexplored Winds and my Dreaming Town in the combo while dodging their card. So this card was honestly like very good. It does help with consistency, especially since you are playing more birds. You are playing 3 Street, as you saw. So definitely I would recommend, if you are going to play this deck, at least to test this out. Then after that, we played the 1 Unexplored Winds, and then we just played 3 Pod of Dualities and Prosperities and the 1 Extrav. I don't want to brick with this deck at all. As I said, I'm trying to make it as consistent as possible. Honestly, throughout the whole weekend, I didn't see Extrav once, and I think I didn't see Prosperity for like the first 5 rounds. So like I was still able to draw really well regardless of like not seeing the pots a lot. But I would definitely like still keep this ratio, because you never know, you might need it. Then afterwards, the only cards I used to break boards was Dark Ruler No More. I find this is one of the best cards. It's great versus Voiceless. It's great versus pure Snake Eyes. Even the Fire King, it helps us deal with Appaloosa, and then the Street can deal with the Garunix later on. So it's not like an auto win card, but the fact that you're playing this, you're playing Shifter, and you already have a great engine, it just ends up being like a blowout card. And then after that, the 2 trap cards we played was Dreaming Town and the one rivalry of Warlords. So this card in my main deck, it came up versus Vanquish Soul. The only problem is that he was main decking Cosmic Cyclone, so this card actually didn't perform as much as I would like to, because the other times I did draw it versus the mirror matches, and when I did draw it the other time versus Fire King, if they played it well, they were able to out it. They didn't really see how to out rivalry, so they lost, unfortunately, when I flipped this card. But I feel like if they did it correctly, this card would have done nothing for them, because they can just summon Garunix, send Kieran special Ponix, pop the rivalry, and just proceed to combo. So I'm not sure how I feel about this. Like, this card can be an auto win card, but from my experience, it was never really important in this. So that is the deck. I'm gonna head to the side deck. So I sided 3 Ash Blossoms. I never sided them in unless I was playing versus Labs or Branded, because Flu has an awful Branded and Lab matchup. It's almost like an auto lose, especially if you're like going second. So I need some help versus them. After that, I played 1 DD Crow. This can be versus Pearly, but more importantly, it is versus Branded, because like I said, Branded in red completely just like destroys Flu, especially since they're able to activate it like in draw phase and then summon Guardian Chimera and pop the Dreaming Town. So I need a way to stop it, and if they allow me to just summon Rubina off of map, I can just somewhat just search this, and their opportunity is missed to activate their card. After that, I played 1 Callby. It could be for going first, but like I said, it's also versus Branded. So those were the only 2 matchups I would put them in. After that, we put in 3 Featherstorm. I never really had to side this in except once, because most of my matches, they were mostly 2-0s. So I only put this once, and it was like versus a mirror match. We went to game 3, but I never saw the card, so that's unfortunate, but it happens. I did also play a second Unexplored Winds. I put this in twice. It was good versus the mirror match, but I also put it in versus Vanquish Soul, because if you search 2 Unexplored Winds versus the Vanquish Soul, they can't pop both of them off Caesar, so you're just gonna end up just tributing all their cards. So overall, I don't regret playing this card. I will still play it because there is actually a lot of Fluenderies around in the format right now. After that, the cards I basically sided almost every game versus almost every deck. It's just a bunch of board breakers. When you have any amounts of these versus Voiceless or Pure Snake Eyes alongside Dark Ruler, Shifter, you basically just break all the back rows, break all their combo, and then in a simplified game state, that's when Fluenderies shine. So I thought this was the correct approach. Like, even versus Voiceless, I would side out Shifters, because Shifter doesn't really hurt Voiceless that much. I would side out versus Branded. I didn't play versus them this weekend, but I would side it out because they can still make Draco Stapelia, banish Mercurier, add so much follow-up, and then Shifter's not enough. I need like Rubina and a quick play just to beat his Stapelia. So I figured a board breaker approach was a lot better. So that is the side deck. And we're going to go to the extra deck. Just to let you guys know, I didn't summon anything in this extra deck. So, you know, I do have the 4 birds. This is to out like skill drain, you know, make Zeus. If I want to make Zeus but search a card, and then if I want to attack and it being protected, you never know if they're playing anything like a Book of Moon. Then we have the 2 Downers and 2 Zeus, because Pot of Extravagance, you know, I just want to have an extra copy. Typhon, SP, Relinquish, Underworld Goddess, Axco, Dark, and Selene. There's really not too much to explain about it. It's just everything had a point to be played, but I didn't use any of it this weekend. So that is the deck profile. I will like to shout out my sponsor, Kevin Lin. I want to say thank you for letting me borrow all the cards. I will also want to say thank you to the cameraman, which is Davis Anadeth. So,
you know, the vibes.
Yeah, shout out to him. And I also want to shout out all of Montreal. There's a lot of people in Montreal. So to everyone, what's up? You know, Team Montreal, we did it. And yeah, hopefully you're going to be seeing a lot more Montreal people topping regionals, topping YCS, because there's a lot of good players here. So you're going to be seeing a lot of us more often.
Do you also want to shout out your DB account or?
Yeah, okay. So for those of you that don't know, I don't really talk about it a lot, but I'm actually a dernier match on DB. So if any of you guys know me, I love playing Fluandrees, and I've been playing the deck for so many years. So it's just a passion. I feel like as much as new decks and new cards come out, I feel like Fluandrees always has like a relevancy. So you always have to somewhat be prepared for it, and you have to know a lot. Like I had a lot of opponents. They summon Poplar and Dibelisar on me in attack position when I have an Empen on board. So I feel like after so many years, people still don't know like what the deck does, which is kind of like shocking, but it is to your advantage. So you might as well use it. So yeah, that's it. Towards what I would change in the deck, the main deck, probably Rivalry Warlords going forward. Although it's very OP, it just wasn't enough, I would say, from my perspective. I'm gonna do more testing with that. I did play 8 rounds of Swiss. I won 7 of them, so I went X1. My matchups were, I played versus 2 Pure Snake Eyes, 1 Fire King, 2 Flu, 2 Voiceless, and the Vanquish Soul. I lost only to the Vanquish Soul. I beat all the others. So overall, I played a lot of meta. And yeah, it was very much a very good, consistent deck. I only bricked twice, but this was post side. And I feel like the times I bricked was my fault because I sided out too many engine cards. So I feel like that's something to for me to learn a little bit, because this is a new build for me. Originally, I was playing like the Thrust package with the Feather Storm, and a whole bunch of like main deck cards like evenly, but I feel like in this format they're not like, Thrust is not that good right now, so it's a different playing style, especially with the Swallow in the deck. So overall, I'm gonna learn how to side deck better with this deck, that way I don't brick at all, because if this deck doesn't brick, you're gonna win the game.
You changed the list last minute, eh?
Yeah, I changed the deck two days before the event. So
Did
yeah.
Kari like help with the unbreaking and stuff? Or
Kari helped a lot. It helped with the unbreaking a lot. It was like I said, it was probably the MVP because it's a consistency card, but it also helps you dodge Valor Imperm. So it's honestly one of the best cards. And you know, when you tribute Empen, search another Empen. It's just, you know, you get unexplored wins in this format. It's almost game over. So
it's like playing six Advent.
yeah,
right?
exactly. It's like playing 6 Advent. So no regrets on.
How'd
on
you
that card.
how'd you come up with it?
So that's going to be another thing. I will shout out the people in Germany. They did come up with the idea of playing 3 Swallow and 3 Stree. I didn't really ever consider it until I heard their idea, and I wanted to test it. I wanted to say like, hey, you know, because I went to another locals a few days ago, and I played 4 rounds and I bricked 5 games, and I said, this can't be it, you know. This list, you know, I was main decking Thrust and the Feather Storm like I told you, and I just kept bricking. So I was like, I would open like map event no bird or map event evenly Thrust, and I was like, man, I'm like, if any of these were a bird or it was like I had a Swallow in the hand, I would just be able to full combo. So that's what I did. I just switched it up, and I had a very good experience. So yeah, I'd like to once again thank everyone, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video.
Will you be attending YCSs this year or Nats maybe?
I'm gonna be going to Nats for sure, so you'll be seeing me there. For YCS, maybe I haven't decided yet, so we'll see how life goes. But I'll definitely be at Nats.
All right, with Flu?
Probably with Flu, if the format changes and Flu is still relevant, or they don't like hit too many cards, like I for sure maybe they're gonna hit Shifter. You know, maybe bring it down to 2 or 1. But at the same time, you know, Flu engine is so good. I just love the engine. It's just, I still think I'll probably play Flu for Nats. We'll see.
I think Konami can just ban every Flu.
No,
right?
no. They can bring back some cards if anything.
Like Wind Statue and stuff.
Yeah, Wind Statue. You can definitely bring that back. Even Mystic Mine.
Okay. All right. I think we're done with the video. That's it. All right.
Okay.
All right. Peace, guys.
Bye. Take care.